Alrighty, guys, welcome to tonight's charting session, or today's charting session, depending on where you guys are at. It's still the PM here. So in Paris, we decided to do the charting session just a bit earlier because it's in Europe time. So it's 6:30 for me. But hopefully everybody's been doing well. We traded today, had a good day. We took one trade. I'm up 4K on the day. So we're going to talk about the trade that we ended up taking, and then possibly look at what's kind of going on the PM and maybe even see if we get a PM setup. But other than that, let's kind of jump in, talk about what we're looking at, and then we'll also talk about what we can expect to see going into tomorrow as well from what we've seen today. So going into the morning, I had a very bearish bias. Again, we've been talking about this for a while now in the previous charting sessions of what we expect a draw to be, which was last night we expected pretty much exactly what we saw this morning. Is I wanted to see this 1 hour hold, this SMT hold, and start to sell back off to the external draw being that weekly fair value gap down here and this low here. So going into the morning, I was upset because we took this initial sell side level here in the morning, which was a pretty big target that I was looking for. But we ended up selling off in the morning and then taking that prematurely. So the objective in the morning was already taken. So going into the morning, I was pretty patient on waiting for new structure to kind of give me an idea of what we wanted to do. Either we were going to have a fail move higher to go back lower, or bounce back higher to then go back lower maybe later. So the whole morning I was simply just watching price action. So 1 minute time frame, you can notice we start kind of chopping here, but the biggest things that I want you to take away from today's trade is recognizing ES and NQ and how I used it to my advantage. So looking at the open, we're actually going to go down to a 15-second time frame because this is kind of what I was really looking at today and trying to figure out what we wanted to do. So I'm going to pull up ES here on the side. And what I want you to pay attention to is the difference of what ES and NQ looked like at the opening bell in the first 30 minutes of the market. So the first 30 minutes of the market ends up opening. NQ immediately starts selling off while ES immediately starts pumping. So again, going into the day, I'm bearish. We know the external draw is bearish. We know ES and NQ want to come back down to go take that external draw, which is lower. So when we go into the day and we see NQ selling, we see ES pumping, we know, okay, NQ is a lot more bearish, ES is a lot more stronger. So automatically I know that if ES flips bearish and we start to sell back off, then NQ will definitely sell back off, right? Because they're correlating markets. Both should be doing the same thing, but in the morning, they were not correlating. But since NQ is super bearish and the external draw is bearish, I know if ES flips bearish, NQ will sell. Just if it was the other way around. If the external draw is higher, or if we were bullish, but let's say NQ selling but ES is ripping, then if NQ was to bounce, then I know ES is going to rip, right? Because the external draw is higher, but in this case it's lower. So that's what was in my head going into today, right? So NQ start to just kind of chop here, kind of going back and forth, not really a lot of movement. ES, again, no correlation here yet. We're having a big move to the upside, and we end up rebalancing, redistributing to a bigger time frame imbalance. So going to the 15-minute on ES, you can see we came back in the morning, tapped this 15-minute fair value gap. This is a breaker that I want to see us come back to right now. But in the morning, we came back to this 15-minute fair value gap, this big imbalance right here, tapped it, and then started to sell back off. So zooming back in, once ES starts to sell back off, I'm looking to see, okay, how is NQ reacting from this level, right? We start to sell back off into the 5-minute fair value gap. Looking at ES, again, we start to consolidate here as well and then start to sell back off. Once ES starts to sell back off, we don't take this low. So at this point in time, I'm recognizing, I zoom back out to the 1 minute. One thing that I want to keep in mind at this point is this could start to be a move back higher, right? The first internal draw has already been taken. We've taken out these relative equal lows. There is a possibility for us to start, having a move higher. So what I'm looking for is failure swings. I'm looking to see what's being respected, what's being disrespected, because at this point in time, when NQ gets this big move up and we have this first 1 minute imbalance, we actually end up holding it. But if we end up holding this and this becomes this internal market maker buy model to then go to the morning high, which was this, if we're going to go back to the morning high, then we get displacement through this high. We don't. We come up, failure swing, and then sell right back off into this imbalance, right? So at that point in time, I'm expecting this fair value gap to get ran through to the downside to then sell back off to the external draw. And one thing I want you guys to pay attention to is, like I said previously, I am waiting for ES to tell me it's bearish because I know that ES is most likely holding the market up. It's the most bullish of today. NQ super bearish, but ES is more bullish. So if I can get bearish structure on ES, then I expect NQ to most likely sell off pretty hard. So what I notice is looking at the 1 minute, ES comes back up in the morning, taps the 15-minute fair value gap, sells all the way back down, right? Having our market structure shift, this is the first time we start to get displacement. Low gets broken through. We end up coming back up to the previous imbalance on the 5 minute. So we come back, tap the 5 minute fair value gap right here. And I'm looking to see how we reject. I'm looking to see, okay, are we starting to run through this? Are we starting to slow down? How is price reacting to this? Look at the 1 minute here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times we wick into this fair value gap. Again, showing that we are respecting bearish order flow. When we get displacement below, come back to equilibrium and respecting that imbalance, I know at this point in time, we are ready. Time and price have now aligned. Because what I know is I've been looking to take a short on NQ this whole time, but we have not been ready. Why is that? Because ES wasn't ready. We want both ES and NQ to be in favor of each other to make sure we have the best quality opportunity to take advantage. And again, what I always say, when price and time are aligned, you are going to get efficient moves on the market. It's not going to chop around. It's going to be straight moves. And you can tell just by this trade today that that's the case. ES ends up coming back right when we end up selling them off. I'm automatically now looking to see for some sort of short entry on NQ. So I zoom into the 15-second, and a lot of people today said that what my entry was bad. And I agree with them in the sense of where I took it. But for this specific trade, I will tell you why it's not. What I should have taken or what I wanted my trade to be would be here. But when I eventually looked and I noticed that ES started to respect that imbalance and we started to get displacement, it now gave me the conviction I specifically wanted to enter short. So when I look at where we are in NQ, I look back and I say, this should have been my entry. We tapped this 15 seconds. So what should the market do now? There's no reason for us to come back up to here. There's no reason for us to do, like, this is going to be, if I enter here, this is going to be the best entry. I know this is going to be the best entry. If I didn't get this, I have to take this right away because we've already tapped this. We're most likely going to sell off. ES looks like we're ready to sell off. So this to me is not a chase, but only for this specific example. If you're looking at price action, yes, this is a chase. But for the specific example of recognizing ES, recognizing the market, recognizing order flow, recognizing how weak we are, this entry I'm totally fine with. This was the entry that I'm good with because I was able to recognize that we are ready to sell off because time and price have aligned. And right when I recognize that, I'm not worrying about the best fill possible. I'm just worrying about getting in the contracts and making sure that I'm positioned myself, that everything that I've needed to get in this trade is good. Now, absolutely, it's important to get the best trade possible in the best fill possible, but I recognize that I missed my entry. Once I recognize I missed my entry here, I'm totally fine adding just a little bit more risk on this, moving my stop, but still catching this massive move. I'm confident that we're going to go lower, so I'm totally fine taking a less better fill or a worse fill, you would say, and just give me a little bit more risk just to be able to catch the move because I'm that confident in it and I have the conviction for it, right? That's the only time where I would allow myself to take an entry like this, which is where we're super low already. It's not, in the discount or premium, whatever you want to say. It's more of the conviction behind it for taking this kind of entry. So right when I recognize that, I enter short. We end up selling all the way off. I took my initial contracts right here once we got this first initial pump, and then, or an initial dump, and then I let my runners go to the external draw being this low, start slowly, slow, boom, take it off, and then we ended up selling off even more. If you had any other runners going down there, that was great. But again, this is all I need. I'm not looking at this and I'm saying, oh, I should have caught this move. I could have made so much money. I should have held. That's not how we do it here. I'm trading what I'm confident in. I'm not trading on what the market is showing me hindsight, right? I'm showing of what I'm confident in, which is the draw on liquidity is that low. That is all I need. I made 4K. 4K in how long is this? 10 minutes. Pretty much 10 minutes, right? That's all I need. I don't need to catch this big move. And guess what? When you start thinking that you do need to catch this big move, you're going to be trying to catch these moves all the time. And you're going to enter, be up, and then it'll come all the way back to your stop, and you're going to get stopped out because you didn't take what you're confident in. You're taking based off of your greed. Don't get greedy. Take what you're confident in, right? So this was the only trade that I took today. Any questions on that? Would you say that today was lower probability day because of taking the sell side? The only really the reason I would say that is because it's a Monday. But other than that, I don't. The sell side was I guess you could say that, yeah. But from what price action showed me, then no. Justin, I missed this trade because of this. Justin, I missed the trade because of this. Because of what? Oh, because we had equal highs and you thought we were going to go take the equal highs? Is that what you're saying? Again, these equal highs, okay, equal highs don't mean anything without context. This equal high doesn't mean anything. Why? Because this is not a swing high. Don't get shaken up by a bunch of random equal highs and equal lows. So basically, you waited for ES to confirm the lower draw and then take the trade on NQ. Exactly, because why take it on ES when I know NQ's bearish? I wait for ES to flip bearish, take the short on NQ. Didn't take the trade because it didn't make sense to me at the beginning, but now after you explained it, I would have taken it now. Thank you for explaining it. Noted. Much love, brother. Of course. How do you feel about this trade at 11:30 a.m.? It's not too bad. I like it. I don't know if I would take it. I might take it with low size. Live trade tomorrow? Yes, I'll be trading tomorrow. Did you went through the hesitation of afraid of being wrong during your trading career? Of course. Guys, that's why I always tell you, your main focus should be building conviction, because building conviction is going to wipe all of your problems. Every problem that you have, whether it be, again, why do you think you're hesitating? Why do you think you're afraid? Because you don't have enough confidence in what you're doing. It's just the experience. It's doing it over and over and over again and having conviction with how you think, how you see the market. And that all just comes through experience. The more that you do it, the more that you practice those good habits, the easier it's going to get. Yeah, I would say B+. Yes, I would say this trade was a little bit more advanced only for the entry. It's the only reason why I would allow this kind of entry. This kind of entry in any other circumstance, I would say is lower quality. Do you settle for one win on the day, or do you set a target for the day based on the amount you've made or the ticks? A lot of the times, I mean, if I'm doing my job right, I should only need one trade, risk-wise. December market conditions usually bad. They're okay. I wouldn't say they're terrible. I mean, guess what? December doesn't mean anything unless the market is bad, or where we are in the market, right? Guess what? I'm expecting a good-ass December. You want to know why I'm expecting a good December? Because look where we are in the market. We've finally started to see what we've been wanting to see, which is the manipulation move lower. Now that the sell side's taken on a bigger time frame, I'm expecting an expansion move, which is most likely going to bring us pretty good action. So again, it's wherever we are in the chart. It doesn't matter what month. A lot of the time, it just matters where we are in the charts. I remember at one point you answered this, but I was wondering, how do you want people to learn in your live trading? Because I know your goal for all of us is to be self-sufficient for ourselves and eventually leave the Discord with everything we learned from you. I know there's hella signal bots in here, but I just want to buy and sell when you say, but I want to take trades based off of my own conviction. So I tend to mute streams and take my own trades. What would you say? Great question. This is what I recommend. Yes, your goal should be building conviction. Sometimes when you join the lives, it's hard for you to do that because I'm supporting you. But that is what you need at the start. Everybody needs support. You need to see what real trading and what real experience looks like so you have guidance. When we come on lives together, my goal is for you to see my conviction and use that to build conviction on your end. So when we come on live and we trade together, yes, I don't want you to just say, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm in a short, and you just sell, like immediately, without even thinking about what I'm doing. I want you to, if you have the same conviction as I do and you have conviction for the setup, absolutely, go for it. Take the trade and use me as confluence, right? Use me as confluence for that trade. But your goal should be, if I'm taking a trade and you have no idea why I'm taking it, there should be zero reason that you are taking that trade. Zero. So your goal, again, always needs to be building conviction. Trade with me, watch the lives, notice why I'm taking trades. If you have conviction with it, take it. If you don't take it. And also take times and take days to just trade by yourself. And then come to the charting sessions. Trade by yourself in the market, come to the charting sessions, ask me, show me the trades that you took. You can look at the trades that we took as well, and then compare them. I just want to say I've been in 6 months in my trading journey, but your community def has earned my respect. Hard work and ethic is key, and having a mentor like you keeping us keen is much needed. Thank you. Much love, brother. Of course, I got you covered. What do you think about this? Notice we bounced off CE of weekly ES, put it in equal highs where NQ had resting buy side. Notice a 5-minute CISD and entered off the retrace of the 1-minute order block. Yeah, bigger time frame for value gap. Again, yeah, this looks good. Bigger time frame for value gap. Bullish order flow. Waiting. Once this fair value gap gets ran through, market structure most likely shift. Pull back to the imbalance right here. Long, targeting the internal buy side. This looks great, bro. Looks great. Could you explain an entry you would have used on the market maker that just played out? Let's see. Again, I need a rejection of a bigger time frame imbalance and intraday. So like I literally just said, the one right here. I said right when we started this charting session, or right before I started the recording on the charting session, there's a long opportunity to the recent high. Why is that? Why is there a long opportunity to the recent high? 1 minute fair value gap. Draw is higher, right? Draw is higher. 1 minute fair value gap. Zoom in. Do we get displacement? Yep, we get displacement. Boom. Chop. Holding. Boom. Displacement. Entry here. And entry here. Where are you targeting? Most recent high. And then runners to go there. But most of the time, most recent high. Before this, there could have been some possible entries, but I honestly wouldn't have had the confidence to take... the only really trade that I would have possibly taken here would be this one here. But once we get bought back up. But I still think I would most likely be waiting. But again, NQ should go higher to here to at least this high. Hey, Justin, I missed a trade today because the pullback into the fair value gap was very quick, and I remember you said one time you didn't trust the trade because of that. So I didn't take it. I should have entered when it started to go in my favor. You said one time you didn't trust the trade because of that? I think you might have misheard me. If I'm looking to take an entry in a fair value gap and we reject it, that adds more confidence. That doesn't like not give me trust. It does give me trust. So I think you just missed your entry. Again, it depends. It just depends on the context. Most of the time, I would say no. If we come into a fair value gap and we reject and we go lower, you have to make the choice. Do you want to enter, get a bad fill, and then have extra risk, or do you want to scrap the idea completely and wait for a different entry? You have to decide, and it's all based on the specific scenario, which comes with experience. Just got stopped on EU. I wanted to target internal low, but what do you think? Probably didn't work out on EU. Took the low. Again, no displacement from the breaker. No displacement through a recent low as well. I mean, that recent low got broken through, but no displacement from where your entry was. That's the only thing I would say. And external sell side has already been taken. That's the biggest one. External sell side, I didn't even see the second picture. External sell side has already been taken. How do you set your take profits when there's a low resistance liquidity? Would you set one take profit at the final low high, or would you take some partials along the way? Nope, only final low or high. That's why it's called low resistance liquidity. You answered your own question there. What's the biggest thing we should focus on after being in the Discord for a few months and leaving to work on being profitable? It completely depends on on your own journey. It doesn't matter if you've been here for a month or a year. It all depends on where you're at and your own confidence. If you still think you need work, if you still think you need to be able to work on your conviction and on your risk and on your emotions and on your psychology, then I continue to recommend to stay and ask questions and continue to learn. But if you're starting to get to the point where you're like, all right, I'm starting to build some confidence, or I'm starting to get, into the groove, I say stay for a little bit longer, but split the week up. Trade on your own some days and then trade with me other days. Or stay in the Discord for a little bit more time, trade on your own the whole week, and then come to the charting sessions at night. And then do that for a little bit. Again, see how much you progress. And then when you get to a point where your consistency is just going, and I'm saying consistency for like a month, then I would say you're ready to go and start trading on your own and see where you go from there. I've noticed when there are huge moves up or down, price always retraces to the 50% of the fib range. Is there a name for that? Would you take a trade if there's enough size of retracing? Yes, I do that a lot, actually. A lot of my trades are have confluence for that. So there's specific examples that I've traded in the past that we've gone over. But yeah, it's equilibrium of the range. Again, why does markets move? To hunt liquidity, to rebalance to an inefficiency, and to rebalance equilibrium. Those are there were three reasons you always want to have in your head, right? Why do markets move? What's the reasoning for why I'm taking a trade right now? Hunting liquidity, rebalancing to an inefficiency, or rebalancing to equilibrium. Every single trade you take needs to have at least one of those confluences. I wouldn't consider it a unicorn on that last trade. I just wanted to show the last 3 trading days how almost identical my setup is. Trading is almost too easy when you have confidence in your own setup. Unlucky for me, I still have to trade super low size because of my emotions are still hard to manage, but super happy with how well I'm seeing the market. They look great, brother. Look awesome. Keep it up, bro. Thoughts? Yep, looks good. That long was good, Yossi. No, I never look for shorts immediately right after buy side is taken. Why? Somebody tell me why. Why do I not look immediately for shorts right after buy side or sell side is taken? I don't look for longs or shorts. Not enough structure. Exactly. Any time where you look at a point when we took buy side or sell side, most of the time, there's times where we take it and then just dump, or times where we take it and then pump. But most of the time, we need structure to validate that it's a manipulation move and then wait for the displacement. It depends. Again, it depends every single time. What advice would you give to someone who can pass an account but hasn't had success reaching payouts? Journal all of the trades. When you get to a funded account, journal it. Why do you think you're blowing it up? Because you're trying to focus on getting a payout. You're over leveraging. You're taking dumb trades because you're trying to grow a funded to get a payout. Your focus is on getting a payout. Your focus is not building good habits. That's the problem. Is there something wrong with trading with the team? If I'm gaining profitability and understanding, is it not just as good as being on my own? I feel like it still builds conviction for the model. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Again, it's all of what you prefer. It's all of what you prefer. Try to find time to put on the side. I'm in college right now and I'm struggling to be able to get good entries because I'm on the way to school and all this other bullshit. But I know when I have the proper time, I'll see far better results than right now. You got it, brother. Plenty of time. You have plenty of time. Don't rush it. 3 things to always keep in mind. Liquidity sweep, displacement, imbalance. Is that what goes through your head when watching structure? Yes. 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 Absolutely. Why Boise? My parents moved there when I was in high school. I really didn't have a choice. How do you find Europe so far? I absolutely love it. Yeah, houses cheaper than the Bay, absolutely. And we save so much fucking money being there too. Actually gonna move to New York? Not sure yet. That's why I'm traveling, just kind of explore. I'm too young to to get a place and settle down. I'm just kind of again. Don't ever let somebody tell you it's like. People are like, oh my God, Justin, you make so much money. Why do you still live with your parents? Because I don't know where the fuck I want to go. I'm going to go explore, see, why would I just pick a spot and waste money by renting and waste money by when I can live with my parents, figure out what I want to do, figure out where I want to go, make a bunch of money. That's just one less payment I have to make. you can stay with your parents if you're. It depends on who your parents are, but I love my parents. I'll stay with my parents until I want to move, and which will probably be soon. I'm getting to the point where I'm definitely ready to go, but I just want to be confident in where I'm going is the biggest thing. So that's why I'm traveling. Did you find a European baddie? Oh, many, many. Anywhere else in France or Europe? Yeah, we're going to go to different places in France. We're going to go to Reims and some other places, possibly take the train to the south of France as well. We're going to go to the Champagne district, do some champagne tasting for one of the vlogs. But for this trip especially, we're not like going anywhere after this. I go back to the United States, and then we'll plan another trip and then go from there. You're only 20. Take your time. I'm stuck in SoCal right now trying to find my way out. Oh, trust me, brother. Everybody. I love California, but it's just not. California's not as good as and nice as it was. Has anyone recognized me? Not in Paris. Yeah, a lot of taxes in California. Shitty politics too. Set up for trading when or travel trading. I got my MacBook. I got my extra monitors, which are called Monduo. I've been getting so many questions on what my monitors are. They're called Monduo, Monduo. They're like an attachment that adds to my MacBook. We got the lighting. We brought the microphone, and we got cameras, everything, and that's pretty much it. Saw you like history. If you have time this weekend, Chateau de Versailles. Oh yeah, we're gonna go to Versailles. We're definitely gonna go to Versailles for sure. All right. Any last questions before we end the session here? When do we know that we are going to rebalance the equilibrium? I mean, I don't understand very well when to draw the equilibrium line and aim for that and use that. Again, it all has to do with structure. If we end up, like for example, if we end up coming back to sell side, right? But bigger time frame, like let me draw a structure here. Okay. Let me draw this out. Like, let me give an example of how I would be confident that we go back to equilibrium. At least, right? At least. Let's say this is the structure we're looking at. All right, let's say this, and let me draw some stuff to the left here too. Again, notice this matters. This is all context. If I don't have this, I have no idea what the fuck we're gonna do. Right, this is sell side taken. This is a bigger time frame imbalance. Right? And this is like big up here, right? This is a big sell-off here. And then let's say this is the original consolidation here, right? So when we get this sell side move, again, this is just an example, and we actually had a trade on, actually, let me check my Twitter. I think I have an example too. Actually, let me talk about this first. Let's say this is the original consolidation, and this is the original, the whole move down, right? And let's say this is actually more than this. Let's say we actually went lower or higher, and we haven't reached it yet, right? Which is like right here. This is a buy model that gives me confidence, right? An already existing buy model. So again, I am not just taking trades to equilibrium. I am only using it to add confluence, okay? That's key. Understand that. I am not taking trades just off of equilibrium alone and expecting us to go back. It only adds confluence to the already existing model, okay? So an already existing model. Sell side down here was taken, external displacement. We're holding imbalances. We get displacement. Boom. I take a long. What's a good runner target? Intraday, this is a good target, whatever the recent high is. What's another good target? Equilibrium of whatever that range is, right? That's the only thing I'm using it for. Because again, why do markets move? Hunt liquidity, rebounds, equilibrium, rebounds, and inefficiency. So I'm confident we're most likely going to rebound to an inefficiency. So that's an area for me to target. Does that make sense? Another example too is I think we took a trade not too long ago. I think I posted on Twitter. I'm not 100% sure. Let me see if I can find it. Again, look at what we expected market maker sell model from there. Predicted that earlier in November. It's this trade that we took, or these two trades, right? I'm expecting us to go back to equal. Now, I don't know if I have of what the bigger time frame is, right? Okay, but you can see sell side's here, right? Sell side's here, bigger time frame imbalance as well. Bigger time frame imbalance as well. Sell side swept, displacement. This was an early trade, and then we took the next trade when we came back to the imbalance. But again, it's adding confluence. Why is that? Because I expect to go to this high and equilibrium of this range, right? So it's only adding confluence. I'm not just taking trades based off of that. Okay. In this case, should I expect external level to get hit or price could get reversed from low highs if yes? Wait. In this case, should I expect external level to get hit or price could get reversed from those lows high? Yes. I'm confused on the question. Wait, in this case, should I expect external level to get hit? Yes, this is the external level, yes. But again, only if some form of sell side or some form of bigger time frame imbalance. If there has to be a bigger time frame PD array, a bigger time frame for value gap for this to then hunt this external high. If there's nothing here, there's no reason for us to sell. This would be a fail swing high just to sell back to go lower, to go to whatever the external lower draw is. There has to be some form of sell side here or some sort of bigger time frame for value gap. A reason for us to bounce. Again, that's a loss that you can take and then re-enter back in. I say that's a trade that you would re-enter back in. Couldn't explain it better. Love you in this community. Much love, brother. Last question. When you know the draw is lower, but before the target, there is a higher time frame PD array, who goes against your bias, but the setup is here? What do you recommend? Wait, okay, last question. What do you know, or when you do know the draw is lower, but before the target there is a higher time frame PD rate, who goes against your, I'm going to say that goes against your bias, but the setup is there. What do you recommend? Okay, watch for it. For example, perfect example, today. I know the draw is lower, but where did I expect to bounce today? I was very aware that we had this 15-minute. I knew that most likely we were going to bounce here, which we did, right? So if I'm in a short here, right, possibly short opportunity up here, and we have a bigger time frame balance, but I know the sell side's lower, right? I still expect us to possibly respect this, but I know eventually this gets ran through. So I have to learn to position myself. Number one, hold my runners. My first PT here anyway is going to be this low. Hold it. Enter, move my stop. We can definitely bounce here and then come back up. So you have to look for either another internal model, or you put your stop to your original stop. You don't move your stop at all, and you allow it to get ran through. You take the odds because you don't know if it's gonna bounce or it's gonna most likely get ran through. But you have conviction that it gets ran through most likely than not because the draw is lower. But there's times when we can still bounce on it, have an initial fail bounce, and then sell right back off through it. So it depends on the trade, and it depends on your management. All right, guys, that is all I have for you guys tonight or today, depending on where you guys are at. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this session, got something out of it. Again, great day to start the week. Monday, I'm up 4K. We had, again, only one trade today. That's all we need. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will post tomorrow what I'm looking at because I still want to see what's going to happen the rest of the day in the PM session. So tomorrow morning, or before we end up trading, I'm going to post my charts and post my buys from there. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.